Get it online on your mobile. This is IPOB Community Radio, Radio Biafra, the first and the last.
The history of a people, I repeat, is like the stream of life from which the character, form, and structure of the identity, their backwardness and progress are drawn. It affords a people the platform on which to predict their future. Just as every stream has a source, so every group of people has a beginning.
I had a voice on the radio.
Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem. Shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. Shalom, shalom Yerushalayim. Shalom, shalom Yerushalayim. Shalom, shalom Yerushalayim. Shalom, shalom Yerushalayim. Shalom, 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 Yerushalayim. Pedí por la paz de Jerusalén, pedí por la paz de Jerusalén, pedí por la paz de Jerusalén, Jerusalén por siempre viva en paz. Shalom, 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 Yerushalayim. Shalom, 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 Yerushalayim.
And you was a nke ndị ji asị na-eri nri ịgbara ndị Fulani odibo nchi iwu osote onye isi n'obodo Naijiria ọ mgbe m nọ n'ụlọ ikoni ka m ga-etinye ha n'aka akwụkwọ si ha agaghị m emezi Biafra ọzọ unu bịa ka m gbara n'odibo ka ndị ọzọ si agbara ha odibo ha rịọrọ m njụ isi aga m ahapụ nwere onwe m n'azụ kwee n'ihi ndị ya niile maka ọdịmma nke ha nwa na nke ụmụ ha ma nke ụmụ ha ga-aga n'ihi na agwara m gị okwu si ha oge mgbe Zik a na-agwazi ike mgbe ọ na-eji ike na-akọwara Zik si ya na ebe ị na-aga n'ụzọ adịghị ya ọ na-etisi kpakakata mba ọwụwa Naijiria ka anyị gaa n'ihu ka anyị gaa n'ihu ebe ọnọdụ anyị n'ụbọchị nke taa na-akọwakwara ndị ya sị ha ihe azụ ike mere mgbe mbụ tinye anyị na omume anyị nọ n'ime ya n'ụbọchị nke taa ọ bụ ihe nwa na-eme ka edo ụzọ nwa Nnamdị Kanụ si na-eme na-emeju ya unu kọrọ m ka mgbe na m sị na unu arụghị ogbe nke abụọ gafere River Niger unu ga-arụ okporo ụzọ unu ga-emezi ebe niile ebe ụmụaka na-agụ akwụkwọ ọ ga-emezi emezi ọma mma ụlọ ọgwụ a ga-arụzi ya arụzi a ga-enwe ọkụ mmiri ga na-agba ọ ga-adịrị onye ihu na mma dịrị onye azụ na mma kedu ụzọ m si mejọ ndị dị etu asị m na ụzọ m si na-eme ya na ọ dịghị mma njọ ha sị m bụ ngwa agha onye mgbara ebe onye mgburu mma onye mgbara ụta akwa sọsọ ozi ọma Chineke si mgbasa n'igwe ka m na-agbasa kezie ka o si metụta unu ọ bụ gịnị mere unu nwa na-asị ka akpọta Nnamdị Kanụ ka egbuo ya ọha na eze na ndị gọvanọ gịnị mere ndị egbusi ndị mmadụ n'ugwu Awụsa ndị gọvanọ ha n'ugwu Awụsa kpọbeghị ka abịa gbusie ha ịnọ n'unugo na onwe onye na-achị ugwu Awụsa gọvanọ pụtara sị ka egbusie ndị herdsmen unu n'unugo na onwe onye Yoruba pụtara sị ka egbusie ndị UPC ọgwụna sọsọ ndị Igbo n'ihi na unu na-agbalịka alịka ka unu ga-agbara ndị Fulani odibo onye pụtara sị ga-agbara Fulani odibo onye nsị na mụ abụọ Nnamdị Kanụ agaghị m agbara Fulani odibo ha nwere ya kwụsị gbara m odibo onye na-esiri mụ na ha gaa n'ugwu Awụsa ndị ha na-akpọrọ isi na-ajụ ha o unu n'ebe a Nnamdị Kanụ ọpụtakwa n'ụbọchị ole unu ha pịọ na-agbara ebe niile ego na ga ejekwa ya ọzọ onye ahụ otiri mkpu bịa ọ ga na BBC na-akọrọ aka m esofa ya aka gị ọgwụ ọgwụnwa wee ndị isi nche na steeti gị ị ga-agwa m na onwe ka ndị agha obodo ekwensu bụ zu Naijiria ga-esi malite na-akpa mkpamkpa n'obodo gị ịmaghị ihe gbasara ya ngwongwo niile esi be m buru akwa ebe ka esi ikpeazụ ka ebugara na gọọmenti haus na Ezinna m
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Radio Biafra USA. My name is Mazi. Broadcasting live from York on the auspices of our mother station, Radio Biafra. Our leader's name is Mazi Nnamdị Kanụ, and we are live this morning from New York. All right, before we proceed, customarily we have to pray.
We are determined, we are not surrendering, we don't intend to and we can never. There will be no retreat and there will be no surrender. The only movement we know is upward and forward. And that is why Biafra will in our time. Even now, the zoo and the leadership is viewed with knowledge, and they must know that they are in very serious trouble. We are not going to be placated with warm words about restructuring. We are not going to be moved from our position with mindless, or should I say, very vacuous assurances. We are determined and we are very resolute. The only thing we want is Biafra, nothing more, nothing less.
Nnamdị Kanụ kwọrọ kwọrọ na mbọ kwọrọ Radio Biafra kwọrọ kwọrọ na mbọ kwọrọ 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 na mbọ kwọrọ 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 na mbọ ibe ndị kwọrọ kwọrọ na mbọ as our ancestors did before to offer kwọrọ kwọrọ na mbọ worship anything out. We do not bow down before anything.
Governors, elders, stakeholders, and politicians for their doggedness and courage to protect their people and their region from the evil hands of Fulani terrorist herdsmen and Nigerian government jihadist soldiers. The systematic strategy and efforts of the ruling Fulani cabal is continually provide financial and logistical support to Fulani terrorists and Islamic extremists in military and police uniforms to rampage and kill innocent citizens at will. This is not the first time in the recent weeks that our leaders' position and approach has been vindicated by events and utterance from other ethnic groups within Nigeria. The inescapable truth, remains that Bishop Kuka's commendable utterance about the jihadi intent of the present regime in Nigeria and the formation of a Yoruba vigilante by OPC are all lines of reasoning and event considerably canvassed and championed by IPOB in the past. The fact remains that Nigeria, as it presently constituted, is the greatest threat to life and peace. The Yoruba decision and efforts to launch Operation Amotekun security outfit, just like our leader launched BSS in 2017, is most commendable. What we find horribly appalling, however, is that those who were at the forefront of misrepresenting and condemning our leader for having the vision and foresightedness to challenge Fulani terrorism in Nigeria are today praise is singing the introduction of Amotekun. Even the shameless, treacherous Ohaneze Ndigbo and Southeast Governors Forum that actively connived with their Fulani masters to launch a deadly military invasion of Biafra land on the back of the launched BSS are today openly praising Yoruba leaders for backing OPC's Amotekun project when they themselves half-heartedly sold our IPOB for a pot of porridge. Notwithstanding the barefaced envy and jealousy directed towards IPOB by the Fulif political class and section of uninformed talking heads We IPOB are diligent that we continue to set the pace of radical thinking and social change within and outside Nigeria. IPOB wholeheartedly welcome Amoteko and say good morning to those who, out of ignorance, poor sense of vision, lack of reasoning, and self-consuming jealousy, fought against the formation of BSS. They should cover their face in shame, and if they have any face left after this. We believe the time has come for all those who ignorantly question the modus operandi of IPOB and the vision of Biafra liberation as a boldly preached by our leader to tender an unreserved public apology. History and events have continued to violate IPOB and its methods. The time has come for every sensible person and ethnic group to swallow their shame and publicly acknowledge that IPOB is always right. Oh yes, it's happening. Our leader has said it before. You see, our leader is, I don't know how to call him, but we are following him to the grave. Honestly, we are running after him because this is unbelievable. Southeast governors, they came out boldly. You know, people make mistakes and they discover that they make mistakes. They don't wait and start waiting. And that's what I said before. If you're going west and you mistakenly going east, make a U-turn. Face your direction, because you can never get to your destination by going the wrong way. They found out what happened and they quickly switched. This is exactly to tell that Nnamdi Kanu is 10,000 miles ahead of you guys.
You're listening to the radio station.
He thinks far away from what you're
listening to this.
You came out with BSS.
Radio Biafra.
The same people that condemn him, the Nyangodos and the governors.
Good evening.
And some people who are saying that they are going for what do they call it, handshake across to be president of 2023. You are all fully York City. I called your name, said the other day somebody was like, oh, you don't have to call their names. I am calling their names and I'll keep calling these names until they tell the world that they are not our leaders. Don't go there and tell us you're representing us and expect us to cover you up. No.
No, you can swallow him because
this morning I read about the middle belt. They are coming up with their own outfit too. I love this. This is very good.
A fruit from the poison tree.
I read something that long. Somebody that long or something. I think the governor of one of the states.
To us,
they are setting up their own outfit. Is coming up very soon,
and we are
because we started it. Everybody, the whole world was crying. Oh, Nnamdi Kanu. Oh, he's carrying army. I told you somebody yesterday. Somebody a couple of days ago on the phone.
Right now,
telling me when I was trying to explain that what we had at BSS was civil defense. They had no gun. These people were supposed to protect our children, our wives, our nieces, our daughters from these hoodlums they call Fulani headsmen.
I have
the whole people turned against Nnamdi. Oh, he's creating an army that will overthrow Nigeria. We don't need an army to become Biafra. We are already Biafrans.
The director of the state of the indigenous.
When the time comes, you will see everybody's announcing, showing you their own, right?
Has deemed it,
our own will come like an invisible air. Trust me, it's going to happen. It's going to come as like a thief in the night. That's what they say in the Bible, right? That's the way it's going to land.
Of IPOB.
I commend these Yoruba people for what they have done. It's very good. You are wrong, you're wrong, you were wrong before, you moved to the right direction quickly.
The principle of this great
the middle belt is taking hold. Somebody was saying, oh, somebody said Yoruba, he was trying to, because this is a one Nigerianist. I know him very well. And I made a comment. I said, but you are praising the Yorubas, but this was what Nnamdi Kanu started. The guy replied, oh, no, Nnamdi Kanu was asking for cessation. You are stupid idiot. What kind of nonsense? What is that a talk? Is that person talking out of his mind? When jealousy, people you think they are intelligent, as soon as they become jealous, they lose their intelligence. They become maroons, idiots. They don't think properly. Nnamdi Kanu was asking, till today, he's still going away. What is secession anyway? Secession from where? Right? We are asking for the restoration of our sovereign state of Biafra. The way we were before the white man came and put us together with you. Do you have any problem with that? We never came to you and asked to be with you. Somebody came from Scotland or from somewhere and decided to put us together without our consent. Now the man has gone back to where he came from and long dead and gone.
Asset recovery officer.
And you are saying that we have to stay together because that man you saw, had a color that looked like different from yours, so he was a god. Because that's what you tell us. God created Nigeria. God never created Nigeria. That man's name is God Lugat. He came with his concubine wife or concubine girlfriend and put you together. He's not God. What God put together is we as Biafrans, you as Oduduwa, then you as Arewa. That's what God put together.
Have no place.
The Fulanis, I don't know where they came from. Anyway, they are not Nigerians anyway. They are not a part of the equation. They are not Oduduwa. They're Fula. That's somebody called them Fula. I had a lady who was talking about them, a lady from Mali, and she said, Fula, don't joke with Fula. That's why we won't let them take any government, because they come in, before you know it, they kick you out. And that's exactly their modus operandi. I spoke about a little book that I read during my primary school days. Very interesting book. I never forget it, because I was about approximately seven or 8 years old when I read that book. Today, I'm remembering that book because of the way the Fulas behave. I'm telling you honestly, a Fulani farmer, that's a story.
Communication,
because it's a pictorial story for children. And the farmer was in his house, and a camel came in and said, I'm very cold outside. Can you please let me put my head under your hut so I can feel a little bit of the heat that's coming out of the house? And the farmer said, okay, obliged him and allowed him to put his head.
All right.
The next thing the camel said, but my waist, my body from my shoulder down, I feel very cool. Just let me put in one of my legs, please. And the man said, okay. The camel did that. The end of the story is that the camel went into the hut and kicked out the farmer and took over the hut. That's exactly you. That is exactly Fulani. I was a child when I read that book, but for one reason or the other, it's stuck in my mind. It's there with me.
Relieved of
I know most people of my age must have read that book because it was a popular book in primary school.
The IPOB asset.
That's how they come. They come in with their head first. You allow them, they put in their leg. You allow them, they put on the other arm. Before you know it, they kick you out. That's what they did to the houses.
She has been expelled.
That's exactly what they did to the Hausa people. So that's their system.
Dealing with her.
And that's what you want to bring to Biafra land. It's not going to work.
That's what the member is all about.
We are awake. Thank God the Yorubas are woken up. Good morning to all of you Yoruba people.
Because I'm trying.
What you are doing is right.
Strain my eyes.
Hit the nail on the butt. Don't wait. Because these people are coming. They are funjas. Remember the story? It's trying to repeat itself.
We are a disciplined organization. When we say something, we mean what
we are waiting for the middle belt.
Follow the train.
Because I read it this morning. I think I saw something like that. Let me see if I can find it. That's great.
No.
Somebody is saying that they're trying to, create their own.
Maybe after
their
a while,
own outfit also.
People probably hire somewhere.
They're trying to create their own outfit, and that's something commendable. There's no way you can just sit down there. You don't have to sit down there and wait.
You have been relieved of it, and that's as simple as that.
Because they are coming after you. They are not playing. I can't find that story this morning anymore. I found a story this morning about
sometimes these things
about middle belt trying to create their own outfit. But that notwithstanding, anytime I find it, I read it on the story. So what we are saying is that all you Biafrans out there, wake up. If you call yourself a Biafran, wake up.
An organization like that,
help
and you have
your people. Come out and join what we are doing. We are not asking you to join because you have money. We are not asking you to join because we need your money too much. We are only telling you that it's time you wake up from your stupid slumber.
So you gotta be very careful. Look before you leap. That's what they say.
They don't even have a job. Look at this Yoruba thing that they have created now. It's going to create a job for them.
With the motive,
Amotekun. I can't pronounce that name very well. But whatever, the important thing is that they have a security outfit to protect their children. to protect their families. You don't sit down there. These people are camels. These Fulani headsmen, they are like the camel that I'm telling you the story about. They are coming in small.
Look at it.
And when they come in, they will kick you out of the house. They kick you out of your hut.
As usual.
How are you going to go back and reoccupy the place? It's very easy to prevent it from happening, and much difficult to stop it when it has already happened.
But you got to be very,
I'm telling you.
That you are very
because the years go by so fast.
Always bounce back to you.
Before you know it, 5, 6, 7 years along the line, they have families, they raise children, they start building their hut. Because these people don't live in houses. They don't ever build houses. They just tents where they stay. And honestly, for them, Western education is not something that they want. They don't want Western education. So they don't really care about how you live your life. They come in there and live their life the way they want to live it, the way they live in the jungle.
These are people you respect. You know,
so what we are saying is that we are asking our Biafran people in the Biafra region to brace up.
Makes people sometimes
get ready. Our own security is coming. There's no doubt about it. BSS is not dead. Trust me, it is not dead. It's a temporary thing.
When you see somebody,
all of you that were trained as BSS, brace up.
Somebody you think you place him
very soon, you'll be bigger than what you were.
And
we are Biafrans. We're smarter than all these people.
Doing his job.
They don't know anything. We set the pace.
He fails
and they follow
the right words. He says the wrong
things. We set the pace and they follow. They might agitate, they might thrust us out, do everything. In the end, they will follow. They have no choice. Because our leader is divinely inspired. Chukwuka tells him what to do. And whatever he passes on to us, we do it.
I don't know how
no
to
question
asked anymore because
we don't have to ask any question. He has never failed us before, and he's not going to fail us this time. And I don't even see him failing us anyway. It's not possible that he's going to fail us.
Fulanis and the North running up.
What I'm using. The likes of IPOB.
All right, it looks like there's something wrong with that.
And down. They're running up and down because their plan has been busted.
You have ideas? Yes.
They are busted.
And come back X, Y, Z.
This security outfit busted them. So they are running up and down. And the game have started. Now, take your time and listen to this.
Yes, Lily, well, as you do know, different security issues are playing itself out. The launch of Amotekun, don't forget, Metiala also banned night grazing and so different issues, but everything related to security. But this morning, we've got Mr. Gwega Edijimo here. He's the publicity secretary of Yoruba Assembly Group, as well as Muhammad Labar, who is the chairman, Southwest Zone of Metiala Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria. That's my gentlemen. Thank you for coming on this morning.
All of a sudden, he has become an idiot.
Good to have me back here.
Yes, indeed. But we've seen the papers. They are awash with different perspectives, different reactions concerning this launch of Amotekun and what they think of it. Yeah, people they have a right to express their opinion, but haven't seen this impression that they do have. So I'm not exactly sure where all of this is headed. What do you think?
What I think is this.
What counts
the Yoruba Assembly Group is the umbrella body of all Yoruba groups, and I stand here articulating the view of many of us that are stakeholders in this project. Amotekun might just be that step. We would need to start from somewhere. We need to start building institutions. It is still part of the process of establishing true federalism. If a group of people are going to be sincere about their own future, they must take security as an important aspect, a pivotal aspect of their well-being and of actualizing their goals. We have had series of insecurity issues plaguing the Yoruba, and we are not going to go into all of the statistics, but suffice to say that we have now decided that we must have a security architecture that is indigenous to us. Security is actually an indigenous thing. It belongs to you. It's even about the skin. It's skin deep. It's endogenous.
You can't come in tomorrow and say you did not say. Like I said,
you must be the one to take care of your own.
I'm more worried about those who you respect.
In the deep Yoruba proverb of our fathers,
I listen to a lot of them.
Omidan tó bá lóun fẹ́ joyè abọ́bakú òwe burúkú ló ń pa fún olórí láàfin. A maiden that has not even been taken to the inner room of the Kabiyesi now wants to die with the Kabiyesi as with the tradition. He's only sending a message to the old Olori in the palace. Nobody else can determine our security for us. We must do it.
But there will be those who have the impression, having listened to you just now, that when you say our own, our this, our that,
and then somebody's out there.
What happened? You're still within Nigeria. There's Nigeria police, there's Nigeria army. All of those agencies still exist. So when you say this, people can have the impression that, wait a minute, this is actually going to be oblivious, or perhaps you may take it as though this is superior to those other agencies.
Well, I wonder what exactly has happened to history and the teaching of it in Nigeria. In 1953, the Yoruba articulated their views at the London Conference. And the London Conference gave birth to that 1954 constitution that was truly federal. We had a Western House in London. We had Western region consulates all over the world. We had our own kind of architecture that determined, in the true sense of federalism, what each region should possess. We had all of that 67 years ago. Now what has happened? Have we progressed or have we regressed? In which case, look at the state. Well, a country like America that we're trying to even mimic. Every state in America has its own military. And I'm not talking about police. I'm talking about the State Defense Force, SDF, in America. You can Google it. They have their own state militia. I'm talking about military. Now, at every county, we have a sheriff. In the states in America, we have the state police, like the New York PD, NYPD. And then you will still have the FBI. Where are we going to start even going to tell people about policing from? I went to Akoko, a town there that is meant to be famous. That was a serious insecurity situation, and we went to a place that is supposed to be a police station, and we met a police post with 2 policemen.
They don't want to be
to police a whole community of over 10,000 people. Look at that ratio. So how are you going to begin to look at what is going on now in terms of a larger Nigeria, in which the personnel is not just there to police everywhere? We've been asking for state police for too long. People think it's just a matter of semantics. It is not. It is operational. If we're not going to have enough police from the federal to police every community, mind you, Yoruba land has 140 local governments. Have you come up across such statistics? If you haven't, I'm telling you, 140 local governments in all of Yoruba land. And then we have about 2,500 obas, which means 2,500 communities. Now tell me the number of policemen that the federal have to go into the nook and crannies. So you will find an oba in Yoruba land being whisked away from his palace and with his wife, and some people are demanding ransom, and you are asking us not to demand for what is within the context of federalism.
Okay. Mr. Labar, today, one of today's dailies, they say that Northern youths oppose Southwest governor's launch of Yamal-402. So there are those who will think that, well, okay, if we are not here, living here around the Southwest, you may not understand properly. So, but you're here, you're in the region, you see what's going on, you heard comments about this, you may have even seen directly how this has come about. What do you think of this launch?
Thank you very much. Actually, I'm not gonna get involved in dramatic speech of people giving our views of what it is from other parts of the country. I live here. I'm a South, not South.
And by the way, yesterday,
and thank God we operate together with the host communities.
Take care of this.
We do things
I think the
together, jointly.
The community
anyway, the launch of Yamal-402 is We were not involved, we were not aware, we were not invited, at least for the region. And it's a good thing. It's a welcome development. What do we have to say? For security purpose, we don't oppose it. Some other part of the country, or people saying, calling for other things about it, that negativity or what have you. All we need is security, actually. We need to be secured. It's a welcome development. We don't need to go. We just understand that there should be synergy between the launch security and the presence security.
What point do people miss? Because the same, a similar kind of reaction when different regions launch maybe a neighborhood watch or security outfit, you'll always hear some comment from some quarters, some sort of apprehension. What is it that we always miss when these groups come up and people just begin to think, well, no, there's certain fears about
out there?
Why do you think that happens?
Yeah, I think the fear is sometimes things fall out on sentimental basis, because they look out of it is what are their functions? How are they going to take at their activities? Are they going to look at other tribes who doesn't belong, who are just being hosted? Are they going to be hostile to those tribes? Though we think about Nigeria, we believe we are one, and what we are doing. Though in our parts, our activities is rearing cattle all about, or being in activities of buying and selling of cattle. It falls out to some security challenges, most especially where we find ourselves residing in the areas that do security challenges do come up most times in our communities, most especially the kidnap and armed robbery activities that do take place. You find out that most people are residing in areas where these things comes up. So the understanding is mostly what harmonious synergy between us and whatever function is going to commence.
Do you have any concerns about this operational motel?
Yeah, my concern is there should be a sanitization between them and the residing communities who are not from here. I think that would be better, because if there's understanding, there won't be any need of looking at inwards what could take place or what will happen, because we're thinking about the past, the Oduwa People's Congress. You know how sometimes things happen, they descend on kind of communities, or their reactions if anything happens, based on interrelationship between them and the other communities. The reaction goes, these people are from another part, they don't belong here, they do things because they are not from this place, they have people, and that shouldn't be looked at. We should be looked at harmonious part of being together as one Nigerian. I was born and brought up in this part of the country. So tell me, if anything could go and look at as if a sentimental basis come up, where do I have to go to? That should be part of whatever initiative. Initiative.
You're listening to Focus on Africa on the BBC World Service. I'm Paul Bachwinger. To Kenya now, where a legal team acting for the leader of the Nigerian separatist movement, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, have filed a constitutional petition at the High Court in Nairobi. They want the Kenyan government held accountable for extraditing Mr. Kanu to Nigeria. The Kenyan government has denied involvement. The jailed IPOB leader is facing treason charges. Professor George Wajakoya is the lead lawyer. He told me more.
We filed a petition today against the Kenyan government and various actors in this case for the unconstitutional and unlawful removal, which denied our clients, which was engineered by the respondents through abduction, denial of fair administrative action, and in violation of human rights of Nnamdi Kanu.
Do you have evidence?
Yes, we do.
How long does the Kenyan government have to respond?
We are filed in court, we are serving the other respondents, and then from there we take on. It's not an issue of the Kenyan government responding, it's a judicial matter in court.
Indeed, but there are a number of days within which the government needs to respond or can respond.
normally the court has set standards. And since we have gone to a constitutional court, once we file and we serve, then the court will give us a date, which will be within a very short time, because under the certificate of agency.
Certificate of agency meaning?
For the matter to be heard as soon as possible.
Oh, I get you. The Kenyan government has denied extraditing Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. Have you got evidence about it?
Yes, we do. We have copies of his British passport. We have a stamp that indeed this gentleman was in Kenya. We also have evidence of his residence and apartment. We also have evidence that he was actually in Nairobi hospital on a particular day, treated by a doctor that we have his names. We also have evidence that on the material day, he went to the airport to meet a friend, and that's when he was arrested.
So you're arguing he was basically kidnapped?
Definitely he was kidnapped, yes.
Kanu is a British national. Why are you not filing the case in the United Kingdom?
First of all, that's a very good question. And that's why we are also wondering why the Kenyan government, based on the evidence that we have of his British passport, based also in the inquiries that we have made, that he renounced his Nigerian citizenship, why on earth would Kenyan government deport a British subject to Nigerian territory? That's what you want them to tell us.
Does Kenya have an extradition treaty with Nigeria?
They are members of our International Extradition Convention, yes, which Nigeria and Kenya are signatory.
So technically they could extradite him if there was a genuine reason?
Definitely, yes, but then extradition and rendition are two things. Extradition has to follow due process. You can't just pick up somebody and throw him on a plane. That's barbaric and it's forbidden. It's outlawed by international law, even by our own constitution.
Now, Mr. Kanu is already in Nigeria and facing charges of criminal conspiracy, intimidation, and membership of an illegal organization. Will this development affect his case, if at all?
If they're trying a Nigerian national, certainly. But if they're trying a British national, not at all. That's an abuse of due process for a Nigerian court to try a British citizen who has no connection with Nigeria.
Now, are you acting on behalf of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, or is just your own volition?
I've been given instructions by his family in London and his brother in Germany, of which you have affidavits here.
Are they in touch with him? How is he?
We didn't want to go to that direction because there are other lawyers in Nigeria who could answer that question best.
So how long do you think this matter might be resolved?
It's up to the courts to put up the dates, and it's up to the respondents to respond to what we have petitioned the court for. So that is an entirely a process that is within the judiciary, and we have no control over it.
Professor George Wajakoya speaking from Karen, near Nairobi.
It's time to break loose from the chains. It's time for our freedom. Africa. Cause we can never let them negotiate our freedom, no. Hundreds of years is gone. No Messiah came for the black man. Told us that Jesus died for us, but the black man still they suffer. The truth be said, Africa will rise at the right time. And the time we're waiting for is right now. No one can hold the truth for a long time. Oh no. So stay awake. The sun is risen from the east. And the Messiah you're waiting is right here. And no one is gonna try to stop that. I can hear a great call for justice. Freedom. Let the sun rise. Freedom for Biafra. Freedom. Free Nnamdi Kanu. Oh, song of salvation. Freedom. Let Africa rise. Freedom for Biafra. Freedom. Free Nnamdi Kanu. Freedom for Biafra. Free Nnamdi Kanu. for self-determination is celebrated. Black man seeking for self-determination is the separatist and the terrorist. Yeah. When they jail a black freedom fighter, they jail in African freedom.
A semblance of all of that all along before we came to the modern era. And in the modern era, everybody knows what the Western region was able to do. If we have had all of that going for us, we won't be here where we are today. So I would say the Amotekun thing has come from an innate, embedded capacity of the Yoruba to take care of whatever it is that is befalling them in the areas of the security.
Now speaking of synergy between Yoruba groups, I remember yesterday the spokesperson of Afenifere said, they're not a part of this pretty much. They weren't consulted. So how does that play into this Amotekun? Do you think that harms it or otherwise?
It's a moving target. If you're not part of it today, does not mean that you're not going to be part of it tomorrow. What we believe in is the building of strong institutions. You have to start from somewhere. It may not be all inclusive from day one, but once that institution is there, it will grow. Other things will be added to it. Yesterday was just a launch. There are those who are working on the modalities and the technicalities of it. We're going to probably have technology coming into it, in which case, will somebody who is making an app that can get someone in the village to press on a button on his phone to report insecurity be part of the launch of yesterday. So there will be startups, there will be additions, there will be groups that will key into it, and there will be a total architecture that will be added on to what has happened yesterday. So let no one feel that he's been left behind. It will have to be that, because I would want to believe that those who have brought about this commission, this network, already know where it will be, maybe by next year, and maybe the goal is another 5 years we will have been able to surpass even all of this that we're talking about, and then probably it will be other. Where it will be, maybe by next year, and maybe the goal is another 5 years we will have been able to surpass even all of this that we're talking about, and then probably it will be other. This network already know where it will be, maybe by next year, and maybe the goal is another 5 years we will have been able to surpass even all of this that we're talking about, and then probably it will be other. Already know where it will be, maybe by next year, and maybe the goal is another 5 years we will have been able to surpass even all of this that we're talking about, and then probably it will be other. network already know where it will be, maybe by next year, and maybe the goal is another 5 years we will have been able to surpass even all of this that we're talking about, and then probably it will be other network already know where it will be, maybe by next year, and maybe the goal is another 5 years we will have been able to surpass even all of this that we're talking about, and then probably it will be other provided the infrastructure, if you provided the vehicles, that alone should suffice for the regional force. Any which way we want to call it, it will now behove on those who are going to run it to make sure that they run it within the ambits of the law. And I believe that the Yoruba people are law-abiding and they will do everything according to the law.
All right, then you heard Mr. Gbega Adejimo, Publicity Secretary of Yoruba Summit. Thank you for your thoughts this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm listening to this and I'm like, these channel people, they are funny. Look at what the question the woman over there is asking from Lagos. You're talking about them are best. They say the rest of the country. Which rest of the country? Stop fooling yourself. Maybe your family have not been raped. Maybe one day you will come up to Western television to cry. The Yorubas are doing something for themselves to protect themselves, and that's it. That's what it's supposed to be. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you get up and say, oh, it's them against us, of course it's always been them against us. And you're asking what law that establishes this. I'm asking what law established Sharia that you formed without going to the legislature. Thank God that this is happening because we are equal to it. I'm watching it, I'm listening to this, and every day I wake up in the morning and I'm so happy. You know why? Because we are making progress. Our stand has been made. Our leader has basically told the world what we want is Biafra, and nothing else will take the place of our agitation. Biafra is the thing we're asking for, and there is nothing just anybody can do to stop us. We are moving on. This is Biafra, Biafra, Biafra.
We are determined. We are not surrendering. We don't intend to, and we can never. There will be no retreat and there will be no surrender. The only movement we know is upwards and forwards. And that is why Biafra will come in our time. Even now, the zoo and their leadership is beginning to acknowledge, and they must know that they are in very serious trouble. We are not going to be placated with warm words about restructuring. We are not going to be moved from our position with mindless, or should I say, very vacuous assurances. We are determined and we are very resolute. The only thing we want is Biafra, nothing more, nothing less.
This is Radio Biafra USA 2. My name is Mazi Peters. The line is open. You can make your calls at 1-646-920-4541, 347-241-9768, 1-929-406-9953. That's the line for the principal officers and the ladies. Call us here, but please be kind to your neighbor. Make sure that you don't stay too long on the phone. Just call in and give us your ideas and stay as short as possible like you can. All right. This is Radio Biafra. Shabbat shalom to each and every one of you. The line is open. All right, caller, good morning. Call on WhatsApp. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning from here.
Good afternoon from here, Mazi Peters.
Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. My name is Pastor Jack. I'm calling from Lagos. I want to reverence our leader and I want to reverence our deputy and every other person working assiduously hard in order to make sure that this project is actualized. I say, may God keep on blessing all of us in the name of God. I pray.
Say,
as I Peter, taking much of our time this afternoon here. You see, first of all, the guy who was interviewed, he was very, very prepared for the interview.
Oh yes.
You see, they knew what the Yoruba people knew what they wanted. And they knew this is going to be going from a little point of the view to a bigger view.
Yes.
Because already he has given you instances where their leader or their king will be at the local area, and if somebody will just come and wish, so a group of people will come and wish them away without the notice of anybody. And he also wanted that the people hate men, for them. So he hit a certain point that suggests to the fact that Fulani herdsmen is the major reason why the formation of this Amataku is very, very good. Because without the coming of this
all right, it looks like everything
so they know that
okay for me at
the Fulani people have this orchestrated plan of conquering people indirectly.
And let me know what the position is at 646
both that they have got. All these are calculated strategies. Imagine that Fulani man that was talking, here is home and all that, and so what? And he acknowledged that there are cross of violence in this area. For him to be saying they are not the only people that are rear cow, that is not the question here. But he have acknowledged there are violence when your people rear cow. This is a fact, and it's a truth that you people has a systematic plan of using rearing of cow, this header of a day, to conquer and get people's land.
Yes.
Normally, the way it is, every individual, digital people should take care of their internal security, outfit, or architecture. You don't come and destroy somebody's land like that one say, and you come and say it's clash. What do you mean by clash? You brought in your heads and all that with termination, destroy somebody's farm and kill that person on the process, or kidnap the person. At the same time, demand for ransom. You see, that is the biggest, one of the biggest things that this Amataku is going to checkmate. But now, sad is, where are you people? You see, the stupidness of the sad is, more especially now is the most stupid and idiotic person I have ever seen. He paraded with doctorate degree that has nothing. Paraded and you get around and move. You go to governors, you make a meeting, you think you are learning, you think you are knowledgeable enough.
I had people that called before.
I'm telling you the gospel truth. This man, as shameful as useless man that has no wisdom. Wisdom has shown that everything, every step our leader has been taking is nothing but the right step.
Yes.
Because he's so far. Everything you see this such way people are doing now. This Amataku, they borrowed a leaf, an idea from what they have been doing. From the man last statement, he was able to say some people were not carried along. The reason is not far-fetched. You know the reason? The people might be at that moment, the people might be against what they wanted to achieve. That is why they have to bring them up at that moment to achieve that what they want to achieve. Knowing fully well that this is the process, it's going to grow. There will be effort that these people who feel left out will be brought in, so that the people don't spoil the idea behind the whole thing. This is how people reason. They changes their ego, their differences, they come together and say, look, if we don't do this thing, Yoruba race will die. And in certain instances where they started Yoruba and all that consulate, he just explained everything just to tell you that, look, we are for ourselves, we say this not for ourselves, so that these people don't invade us, and they don't want the repeat of Afonja issue. They don't want that repeat.
That's right.
They don't want the repetition. But now, as
caller, good morning.
The useless Southeast governor, where are they? They are nowhere.
Where you're calling from?
Definitely, they are nowhere. That is why they cannot stand up. Yesterday, another market bought again, and thousands of shops and quarters. That is what we continue to see. Fulani people will sneak in and set our market ablaze without security checkmating them, which was what was caused by this idiotic governors.
Two lines are open. What do you mean two lines are open?
They just have ridiculed our destiny and everything. We just have to bring down these people and slaughter them.
The problem I had before, so I'm going to check it out. Thank you so much.
Put out our destiny and kill our people without any out of mercy or regret. I'm telling you, I'm telling you,
good morning.
What time we call every still any man, so that she shall reap. There's no two ways about it.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Mazi. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. It's well spoken. You see, the point is that we like I said, I like what is going on. It started. It's not very going to end. Shame on all of you Southeast who call yourselves leaders of Southeast, especially Nyanwood. Nyanwood, these are the people that are going to become president in 2023.
All right,
they will kill your families. They are destroying your children. They are destroying your homes and wives and kids. And all you're thinking about is to become without security. Can you imagine? Just listen to yourselves.
Honestly, don't.
Our leaders started something. Now they cannot started. They called him all kinds of names. Oh, they are worshiping him. Oh, they are bowing their heads for him. They are cleaning his shoes. Today,
saying something on top of it.
How many years ago?
I can't remember putting past.
If you, all of you, now the man that said something about the security outfit, Motoku, all the states, all the Western states, they contributed to what they are doing. They are all together on chat. They created that.
Anyway.
Some idiotic person asked me today, Bakassi, did they ban Bakassi? What are you talking about, Bakassi? What's Bakassi?
845-344-798-47.
We are talking of people that will protect civil defense.
929-406-9953.
And they clamor on it, and the governors allow them to do it.
Correct these issues
and the governor is supposed to be the chief security officer of the state.
Life a lot more.
Now they are creating something that will help your work. Rather, look at the man that said there's some people that are not brought into it because these are people that will destroy what they are doing. So you know what? You wait. Let us start it. When we start it, you can join us later. But don't come in now and spoil what we're doing. I commend these Yoruba people. They did wonderfully well.
We are not
what they are doing. What they have done is something that's very commendable. Caller on WhatsApp, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Whether they like it or they don't like it.
Mazi, Peter, good morning to you from here.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. My name is Chinua Kweze and I'm calling from the city of Toronto, Canada. Mazi, this morning I want to greet Chukwokika Biama and thank him for the gift of life for every member of IPOB and Biafrans worldwide. I thank him for the gift of our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who at this point in time has accepted the offer to liberate our people. I thank him for somebody like you who comes on this radio to give out facts and educate us and open our minds and our hearts to the challenges that we face as a people. This morning, the clip that you played is a mind-blowing clip. And I want to recommend that very man, that Yoruba man. You see, when I listened to that clip, I had ghost pimples.
Yeah.
Why was I having ghost pimples? Because I have not heard anybody from Igbo land, from the south, so-called south, apart from those of us that are in IPOB, that have spoken without reservation, no sugar-coated words. What he says are the right things and the intention of every well-meaning Yoruba person. Mazi, that man is resolute. He has courage. And his courage is as a result of what they have faced as a people. Because they have pushed to the wall. And it is time for them to bounce back. So Amotekun is an instrument of bouncing back to challenge the marauders, the vandals from the Fulani Futajalon. Two very things I grabbed from that interview is number one, an intention Why will there be situation at all for herdsmen and farmers clash? Why?
Exactly.
That is not a rhetorical question. It deserves an explicit answer. Why will a person, a human being, that's why sometimes I reason that these people are not normal human beings. These people are below human beings. For somebody to lead head into somebody's farmland, into somebody's sweat, means of livelihood, to graze, that person is not normal. Meanwhile, to demonstrate their own selfish and greed, if you touch their cow or their head, they kill you. So why would they feel that their own should be given top priority than those of the farmers? That is a symmetric relationship, A over B. It will not be tolerated. Nobody will take it. No matter how cowardice we see the Yoruba nation, they have demonstrated that what we call them is not what they are. Even if they were, now they have transcended above cowardice and they've taken the bull by the horn.
Yes.
Secondly, it is now
all right.
This
is Radio Biafra. One more time,
for the so-called leaders of Southeast and South.
All right, I personally observed
that they have failed.
This thing is probably has a technical issue.
The issue
that
of
our engineers have to look into and find out what the problem is.
That our so-called leaders
community radio is saying something else.
To heart
my broadcast is going somewhere else.
And selfishness.
Radio Biafra is saying something
because they are running away from
so we are not together.
Like which is absolute that our leader is pushing.
And I discovered that
it is not relative; it's absolute. And the absolute truth is that we must preserve our existence as a program. Our leader created BSS for the preservation of our people.
Coming in there to
for the preservation of our culture, for the preservation of our means of livelihood.
That has to be looked into.
Otherwise, it will go into extinction.
Like I said before.
And these very people that are supposed to support this effort,
something not very going on right.
Obstacle. And
I felt it was going to be correct.
And
it's not
because this thing is not coming from them. Because
so what I need to do at this point
from somebody else, which is our leader. But I'm assuring them that
for the technicians
the project of Biafra restoration is a divine project. No man can stand against this.
Tomorrow or whatever. So today.
They say me that time come again. We know. Listen up, me come from the eastern side. Me come from the motherland. Them are trying to prove to me I don't know where I'm coming from. But that pass them cause I know my roots. I know fit to lose the love for them. I'm unstoppable, my people unstoppable. We keep on moving forward. We keep on grinding. Freedom for my people. Freedom for my nation. Freedom. Free Mazi and Madikano. Freedom. Freedom for my people. Freedom. We have gone a long way. No going back.
We are too big to fall. No, 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 no. Nothing fit to stop us. My people demand freedom. Should be not cry, should be not cry. To ask for your right, ask for your right. I will take it, let me know. We know they do the same thing, we know they go the same way. We don't carry the same language from back door. Free me, make and do my green area. Freedom for my people. Freedom. Freedom for my nation. Freedom. Free Mazi and freedom. Freedom for my people. Freedom. No, 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 no. Yeah. We don't pay for the struggle. Yeah. So many people don't go there for the struggle. It's hard time to get our right. All we have for our freedom, we can never stop. Biafra is a spirit. Let me sing away the flag. Freedom for my people. Freedom. Freedom for my nation. Freedom. Free Mazi and freedom. Freedom for my people. Freedom.
You're listening to Focus on Africa on the BBC World Service. I'm Paul Bachvenga. To Kenya now, where a legal team acting for the leader of the Nigerian separatist movement, the indigenous people Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, have filed a constitutional petition at the High Court in Nairobi. They want the Kenyan government held accountable for extraditing Mr. Kanu to Nigeria. The Kenyan government has denied involvement. The jailed IPOB leader is facing treason charges. Professor George Wajakoya is the lead lawyer. He told me more.
We filed a petition today against the Kenyan government and various actors in this case for the unconstitutional and unlawful removal, which denied our claims, which was engineered by the respondents through abduction, denial of fair administrative action, and in violation of human rights of Nnamdi Kanu.
Do you have evidence?
Yes, we do.
How long does the Kenyan government have to respond?
We are filed in court, we are serving the other respondents, and then from there we take on. It's not an issue of the Kenyan government responding, it's a judicial matter in court.
Indeed, but there are a number of days within which the government needs to respond or can respond.
Normally the court has set standards, and since we have gone to a constitutional court, once we file and we serve, then the court will give us a date, which will be within a very short time, because under the certificate of agency.
Certificate of agency meaning?
For the matter to be heard as soon as possible.
Oh, I get you. The Kenyan government has denied extraditing Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. Have you got evidence about it?
Yes, we do. We have copies of his brief.
So you're arguing he was basically kidnapped?
Definitely he was kidnapped, yes.
Kanu is a British national. Why are you not filing the case in the United Kingdom?
First of all, that's a very good question. And that's why we are also wondering why the Kenyan government, based on the evidence that you have of his British passport, based also in the inquiries that you have made, that he renounced his Nigerian citizenship. Why on earth would Kenyan government deport a British subject to Nigerian territory? That's what you want them to tell us.
Does Kenya have an extradition treaty with Nigeria?
They are members of our International Extradition Convention, yes, which Nigeria and Kenya are signatory.
So technically they could extradite him if there was a genuine reason?
Definitely, yes, but then extradition and rendition are two things. Extradition has to follow due process. You can't just pick up somebody and throw him on a plane. That's barbaric and it's forbidden. It's outlawed by international law, even by our own constitution.
Now, Mr. Kanu is already in Nigeria and facing charges of criminal conspiracy, intimidation, and membership of an illegal organization. Will this development affect his case his case.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, Mazi Endeavor. Yeah, I want to, yeah. So, only repeating at the channel. So, I never do, yeah, I never do two programs at the same time. The old program I run on, then the current program, Peter. Yeah, mommy home. Yeah, so I'm logging on now. Can them or give me a call?
Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, lovers of freedom, our Ududuwa brethren, and very soon, the freedom fighters that will emerge from the Middle Belt. I welcome each and every one of you. Brethren, and very soon, the freedom fighters that will emerge from the Middle Belt. I welcome each and every one of you.
between those sentences, between last year beginning, when I think about how blessed we are.
Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. We welcome you once again to another very exciting edition of Radio Biafra live presentation on this very day, Wednesday, the 1st day of July, in the year of our Most High Elohim, in 2020. The time now is precisely 7 minutes past 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra, and by the same number of minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are domiciled, irrespective of where you are living, across the entire 24 time zones of this very world, people are tuned in, they are listening to this very presentation this evening, this very gospel of hope, a gospel of truth, a gospel of restoration, a gospel of freedom, a gospel of emancipation, not just for Biafrans, not just for every ethnic nationality trapped in the damnable zoological republic. It is for the entirety of Africa and also black people wherever they are. If you wish to be free, you must be able to discern, you must be able to reason, you must be able to possess a little bit of common sense. If you don't have any of those things, you're finished, and there is no way you can be free this evening. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to some of you. Encourage those who are around you to get closer, to listen with you. If they cannot listen via the same platform that you're on, please direct them somewhere else, because we are on FM in Biafra land, we are on satellite, we are on various apps, we are also on YouTube as well. People are streaming this very content right across social media this precise moment, because everywhere is at a standstill. They know when they listen to us, they will hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because we maintain very scrupulously so that we are whiter and white and whiter than snow. We have come to restore Biafra, and that Biafra must be restored in our time. We are going to do, we are doing, and will continue to do everything humanly possible to ensure that Biafra is restored. Our enemies are wasting their time. Our enemies know that they are bruised. We are fighting a multifaceted war on many fronts, and we are winning all of them. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. I am the director of Radio Biafra and the director of Biafra Television, and by the very special grace of the Most High God, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. I will not take your time any further. We shall proceed to pray, after which we shall delve into the substance of tonight's presentation. If you know you are of a weak constitution, this is not a program, this is not a broadcast for you to listen to, because here we shall speak the truth, because here we don't have any space for reformed saboteurs, because a sabot can never be reformed. It is in their bone marrow, it is in their blood. Once the time comes, they will begin to fall out of the woodwork. That is why there is no pity For all the traitors, there won't be any. It doesn't matter how many there are. There will be no pity for them. If they like, they can go and align themselves, not just with the Sultan of Sokoto, not with Harewan, not with Miyet Yala. If they like, they can go to Taliban and form alliance with them. If they prefer, they can go to Al-Qaeda and form alliance with them. Insofar as this very march is concerned, insofar as we are marching into our God's own promised land, the land of Biafra, there is nothing the enemies can do. Absolutely nothing. And very soon we shall show them. Very, very soon and imminently, we are going to make them understand that the land belongs to us. If you are not afraid of the truth, then you listen to us. If you are afraid of the truth, then quite frankly, you have no business listening to us. Because here we preach the gospel truth. We don't give a damn who is concerned or who is adversely affected by it. As long as it is the truth, that is what we are here to preach. We must pray. And I will pray in the language of heaven, if you will permit me. Ezi onye nwanyị na Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile. Onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-efe. Onye mbara igwe na-egosi ọlụ aka ya. Onye adịgide ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-achị. N'ihi na ndị gbara osinachi bụ eze. Anyị were aha dị etu a wee na-abụ ụmụ anyị. N'ihi na onye ọbụla gị na-abụ eze ebube dị ngọzi, egwu adịghị atụ ndị dị etu a. Anyị were IPOB wee nyefee gị n'aka eze ebube dị ngọzi. Wee were ezinụlọ Biafra n'ụwa niile wee na-eche n'iru gị. Ka amara gị na ebere gị wee zuo oke n'ime ndụ anyị. Ka ị wee gosi anyị ụzọ nke eziokwu gị. Ka iru gị wee chaa n'ebe anyị nọ n'otu n'otu. N'ihi na ọ nweghị onye ọbụla eji ama atụ sị na ọ bụ ya yiri gị eze ebube dị ngọzi. Akwa ọbịa mere ụmụ gị bụ ụmụ Chineke anyị anaghị efe arụsị. Onye nwe mbi n'igwe biko anyị anaghị eme ihe ọbụla aka mere nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. N'ihi na ọ bụ naanị ikoto na nsọpụrụ niile nwuru. Onye nwe anyị bi n'igwe eze ebube. Nna ndị ụmụ ogbenye. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ onye kere ihe niile kere eke mana ọ nweghị onye kere ya. Lekwa ka ebube gị si wee sachị ihe niile nke ikere eke. Lekwa ka ịma mma gị si ezu oke n'ime ndụ ndị gị. O nweghị ihe ọbụla nke anyị ji. Anyị enweghị egbe, anyị enweghị ma anyị enweghị ụta, anyị enweghị ego. Mana ọ bụghị na-edu IPOB n'ụwa niile. Aha wee na-ehi ntụndụ ebe niile ụwa sọpụrụ. Onye nwe anyị na Chineke nọ. Ọ bụ site n'ihe nke mmadụ dị ndụ mere. Ọ bụ site sọsọ na ebere gị, na amara gị na ọmịiko gị, na ịhụnanya gị ebe ndị gị nọ. Anyị wee na-akpọkwa ha nsọ gị wee na-aza gị mma wee na-eto gị. Na-asọ ọbụla dị ka ndị mmụọ ozi si wee na-efe gị n'igwe nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. Na anyị ọnwa na ebe ndị dị ndụ n'ala nke dị na isi ala nye gị. Anyị si na anyanwụ na-egosi ịhụnanya gị Chineke nna nke igwe. Etu a ka kpọndụ si wee na-eti na-asị na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke nna. Elu ugwu ma ndịda nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. Ọ bụla ofu ufe nna nke igwe. Anyị wee na-asị na ọ bụ naanị gị na Chineke nna na ọ badara aka gị. Lekịsị wee na-eme na ndị iro ndị Biafra niile ebe niile ha nọ n'ụwa. Iwe na-emebọ ndị ọjọọ akachi ha wee na-ada ha ọnụ. N'ihi na ka ha ọrụ ndị si na Biafra agaghị abịa, ndị dị etu agaghị abịa onye nwe m. Ha ga-anọ ndụ wee hụ Biafra. Ha hapụ ndị ikwu ndị ka ha wee megide isiokwu gị. Bụ mbọ nke ndị ọnwa anyị na-agba ụbọchị niile onye nwe m na Chineke nna ihe ga-abụ nke ndị dị etu a. Ma anyị niile bụ ndị nwe obi tọrọ obi aṅụrị n'ime gị. Anyị niile bụ ndị nwe ezi ịhụnanya ebe nzọpụta gị nọ. Mgbe niile ka anyị na-asị nna nke dị nsọ na anyị ga-ebuli gị elu, ọka aka anyị ga-ebuli gị elu, nwanne otu onye anyị na-ebuli gị elu. Anyị na-asị gị biko na eze ebube dị ngọzi. N'otuto niile na-asọpụrụ niile dara aha nsọ gị eze ndị eze. Site n'ebighị ma were ebighị. Ise, ise, ise. We must proceed therefore unstoppably this very evening from this very location to preach this very gospel that we have been given to preach. I am sure that some of you brought your pen and your paper with you. And for the Janjaweed, those of you that have not moved on from their slate and their chalk, that you are trying as much as you can, at least, to graduate into the use of a pencil and a piece of paper. I welcome each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. And I do like the debate that is raging everywhere. I love debate, I love it. And hopefully, one brave soul will abandon the habitation of gossip that is Facebook and meet me live on air on Friday, Chukwukikabiama willing. You will come on air and we will debate live. You will co-host the program with me. So it is not an issue of anybody being disconnected. Because I know that the workers of iniquity and idol worshippers, we know that all the forces of darkness are gathering against this unstoppable march of light. But I want to prove it to the whole world, especially to those who are listening, that darkness can never defeat light. That is why I challenge anybody, if you claim you are intelligent, Friday morning, 7 a.m. in the morning on Friday, I will add you on Skype, and you will co-host the program with me. If after that very program, you still regard yourself as a human being, then I will know you are intelligent indeed. But I can assure you categorically, and without any hesitation, no prevarication, that you will not survive it. You can, nobody can. If you claim you are learned, you come forward. Come learn me. If you claim you are learned, abandon the realm of gossip that is Facebook. I challenge that very individual. So, from then on in, you will not be able to show your moronic face in public anymore. That is who we are. Some of them say we are arrogant. That is your prerogative. We are the way we are because we are blessed. We are the way we are because we do things that other black people can never ever do. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We are the way we are because we are IPOB. We are the way we are because we are unstoppable. We are the way we are because Biafra will be restored. It doesn't matter what you do. How you grumble, how you complain, it is inconsequential. The only thing that matters is freedom. And that's what we are pursuing. We have not come here to embellish or to decorate words. Never. If you want that, you go to the British of 1887 to 1960. Or should I say to the British that is remote controlling your useless, hopeless lives till this very day. Some are upset that we insulted the type of language we use. The type of language we use so that you may be able to reason. Are you not reasoning now? And most of you not now reasoning anymore. But before we go any further, there is a clip that has been played everywhere. It's gone viral. It's been analyzed and interpreted from every dimension. But in keeping with our tradition here, on this hallowed platform, we shall dissect that very video this evening for the world to know tradition here. On this hallowed platform, we shall dissect that very video this evening.
me. So my biggie go to me. Olani ala to me. So me all tell me, or in my biggie go tell me, so me all tell me, yeah.